Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Now today I want to talk to you guys about the DJI Digital FPV air unit that I burnt out a few weeks ago. Now if you've been following the channel, I actually made a first video on this, walking you guys through what I'd actually done, what I tried to do to repair it at that point, and where I came up against a roadblock. Now just to very quickly summarize that, I accidentally burnt this air unit out on the bench. Don't really know how exactly. I think my bench power supply did it. After initial investigations, it seems I'd burnt out a regulator. After replacing that regulator, I then found I'd burnt out a second one in the original damage, because when I went back and looked at the original images, I could see I damaged that as well. And at that point, I didn't have any more regs, and that's where I left it. So today's video is a follow-on, and it's to let you know what the situation is today. And at the end, I'm going to give you the wrap-up of this one and then explain what happens next. Okay, so to give you an update on the air unit, explain what I've done and where we are at today. Now, the last time I spoke to you guys, we had replaced this 54335 regulator. This was the original one which had burned out, and that was working fine. We're getting 3.3 volts at the other side of the coil here, so we know that regulator is doing what it should be. Then though, however, when I fired it up, it burned on this regulator here, which is another 54335. And after further investigation, I'd seen that in my original images I took before I did any work, it had also burnt right on the input pin, which is up here. So I'd ordered another regulator because I only actually had one in. And this is where we ended up from there. Now, at that point, replacing that regulator, I also found that this coil that was there had also burnt out. So not only had the regulator gone, the coil was open circuit too. Now, after doing some tests, I found it was actually shorting on the output to that regulator. And when I replaced the regulator, it basically popped this one again and blew the coil. So we had a short on that side. Now, after doing further investigation, I also found that there was a short on this output here off the main system management IC. Now this again is a voltage regulation IC, but it's the main system management IC for the P1 chip from DJI, as well as the memory, and it outputs 1.6 volt, 0.9 volt, etc., powering this. So what we have from a voltage point of view, we should have 3.3 on this regulator here, 5 volt off this regulator here, which supplies this regulator, as does this one, and then that provides out its 1.6, its 0.9s, etc. for powering the main SoC. So, after doing some checks, I couldn't track down particularly where the short was. We did some voltage injection, and I managed to actually kill the short with the voltage injection, but this regulator was still already burnt. So what I'd done at this point is slaved on a 5 volt BEC, because it was the quickest way of me getting 5 volt back to this point here, which is the 5 volt out. Now, once I actually did that, I was then able to fire up the system management IC and test the voltage outputs on each of these. That one was fine, that one was fine, that one was fine. However, this one, this output, also had a short. So again, we had some digging around, and I'd actually removed some components over here to try and find it, which I couldn't. So in the end, I resorted to, again, some voltage injection, and then it was clear that this SoC was getting very, very hot. Now, after doing some of the voltage injection on this, the short went away, so something gave up. I still haven't found what that is, but when it gave up, I was actually able then to do some tests and actually get the correct voltages. So just to show you what we're getting on this, we'll plug it in. We'll plug in the harness, and I've got the whole board fired up, connected and plugged in now to be able to test. We've got it on a LiPo, but I've got it on the short saver again, which is the VI Fly short saver, as I made a video about. Again, I'm not going to fire anything up without one of these. I'm just going to put the wires in, and I'll just show you where we're at today on some voltages and explain what I think is actually going on. So let me just get everything fired up. So you'll also note, before I do that, is some of these cans have been removed. I ended up having to butcher some of the metal cans around it just to be able to get in a bit closer to the ICs. Whilst it looks a mess, it's nothing particularly bad. It's just the way I ended up having to go in to do it. You can see that around here I did have to fix the track, and I actually had to put a really small jump wire to that chip, and it took a hell of a lot of doing, if I'm honest, but I did manage to do it, and we did get it fired up until it shorted out again, basically. But if we now power up, we've got the actual board turned on, and you'll see that now I did that, we're actually getting an LED, which is a red LED, but it's not got no more life at this point other than that. Now, if we do just some basic voltage checks on the various parts, for instance, if I go onto that part of that coil there, that cap is attached to it, we're getting 0.9 volt on that one. If I come onto this one, we're getting 1.2 volt. If we then come onto this side on this coil here, which was again originally shorting, but is now good, and we're now getting 1.8 volt on that coil. And then if we check on this one here, again, we're getting 0.9 volt. So we are getting voltage outputs now from the system management IC. However, there still remains a short around here, and basically this thing is now cooking itself as soon as you turn it off, and it is the P1 chip here that is doing it. Now, interestingly, and if I turn it off this regulator here, there is extremely low resistance off this reg on these caps here. For instance, if I do that to ground, just to show you, at these points here, I was getting about 18 ohm. Here we go. Today it's 10 ohm. Now, this resistance is directly changing with the temperature on the P1 SoC when we fire it up. So, you see, it's already up to 12 ohm. So it's increasing, and it'll get up to about 18 ohm. But as soon as this chip gets hot, it drops right down to even 1 ohm. So there is a short again here. So the state of affairs today is that the regulator powers on. We can get LED light. There is no connection to the FPV goggles. There is no connection via the camera. It basically sits here and cooks itself and gets very, very hot very, very quickly. So the situation on this today is it's not working. It's not fixed. There's really nothing more I can do on this now. It's at the stage where I've gone through it, and it's dead. It's at its end of life. You know, I'm not going to put any more time into this 5-volt regulator here a minute until I can get this all up and running. You know, I'm injecting 5 volt via the 5-volt BC where there should be 5 volts, so I know we're getting the correct voltages at that point, and that's why we're getting the correct voltages on the system management IC. However, there is still an issue, and as I said earlier, there was a dead short at that point there, and it was only when I injected voltage did I manage to clear that short. Unfortunately, I didn't have a thermal camera to look at what got hot quick enough for me to spot what it was. I didn't get any magic smoke off it. The short just went away, basically, after I put about 3 amp through it at 1 volt. So, in the end, my opinion on this is that when the incident originally happened, it blew regulator A and regulator B. And I also think it took out the main system on a chip, which is the P1 from DJI. And I honestly think it took that one out at the same time as well. Okay, so sadly, we haven't been able to fix it. I'm pretty much going to end this here now. I've done all of the poking and tinkering I can do. I'm at the stage, as I've already said, where I think the P1 is burnt out. Now, my opinion, as I've already said, is the regulators and the P1 burnt in that original damage, and whilst I was able to get the one regulator working, there was pad damage on the second one and there was a short. But in the end, I do think the main P1 chip also burnt out at the same time. Now, for me, this has been a huge learning curve because not only have I improved my skills on surface mount soldering, especially 3mm QFN connectors, having removed and refitted these regulators about 15 times, I've also learned a lot about the DJI FPV air unit as well, in the way how it works, the voltages, and the overall setup of the device too. And something I will say is this: it isn't the most repairable device out there. The chances are, if you overvoltage or damage an air unit, it may not be able to be repaired. In fact, in my opinion, the Vista, like I've got here, is more repairable than the original DJI air unit, simply because of the way they've set the voltage system up. It's a bit strange the way they've done the protection system on this air unit as well. And I just think the Vista is a bit easier overall. Now, for me, I'm just going to put this one into the parts bin, keep an eye on it over time. If something else comes up, I might drag it back out. I'd be really interested in trying to do some more repairs on air units, so if anyone does have one they want to have looked at, if you've damaged it, don't be afraid to reach out to me and contact me. We'll get it on the bench and see what we can do. I have got one I can use for parts now if we need to as well. I also now finally have a decent supply of the 54335 regulators because my ones have come from China, and I also got another 4 or 5 in the UK as well. So I do have a little bit of stock of them now, and whilst I wasn't able to repair my own, it doesn't mean we might not be able to do something on another one in the future. So pretty much we're going to park this one there. Now, as for what I've done, well, I've bought a new air unit. I ordered a replacement on DJI. They weren't in stock, but it arrived within 4 days. I'm really impressed, actually. When I went on and ordered it from the DJI website direct, they said some due on the 2nd of July, but it's turned up already. It came in that nice little box. That came in a huge box in itself. I've put the original camera back on from this air unit, and it's working absolutely fine. No problems with it whatsoever. So in the end, I did end up having to spend about £100 on a replacement air unit, but it is what it is. The damage happened. It's my own fault in many ways, and whilst I didn't out and out cause the problem, if I had been using something like the Vifly Short Saver, which I've got over here, you know, get yourself one of these. If you haven't seen, I put a video out about it the other day. I cannot break this as much as I try. It's well worth a look, and that hopefully would protect you from having the kind of damage that I had on that one there. Now, that's it pretty much for this one. Over the next couple of days, there's a couple of other videos coming, because what I've done is I burnt out the air unit, which was in this quad, my main FPV test quad, the one I fly quite regularly. So I ended up putting in that new Caddx air unit into this one with the Caddx camera, and I'm going to be doing a review or an overview on that in the next couple of days. I just needed to wait until that other air unit came back in so I could just compare the cameras. I know I won't be the first to do it, but I am just going to give you my thoughts on it as well. We're also going to be taking a look at this, the RunCam Mippy, and I have it in my hands. It's arrived, and I've had a chance to have a play with it as well, which is the RunCam camera, which is unofficially working with the DJI Digital FPV system as well. And there's some interesting news on this because Caddx have released a statement, or allegedly an email, I should say. It's not a statement, but an email has been seen, allegedly from Caddx, that says that they're going to lock down future cameras, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in that video as well, because I'm not convinced that's going to happen myself, and what are the implications of that. So we'll talk about that specifically. And there's a couple of other videos coming over the next couple of weeks as well, some really cool ones. I've got so much stuff here to get through, but we'll get it done, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to be able to share with you guys coming shortly as well. Anyway, that's it for this one. If you'd like to support the channel, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to it as well, and that way you will get those videos when this other stuff comes out. If you're interested in checking out the other video I did where I showed you some more of the soldering and stuff, go check that out as well. And again, if you'd like to support us further, there's a link to buy me a coffee as well as Patreon in the description as well. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and yeah, keep an eye out and we'll get these other videos out in the near future.